How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
You getting your workout in soon?
Yeah, right after the call, I'm gonna hit that in.
Sweet. How's your knee and ankle?
The ankle feels a lot better. The knee, it's just I've been working a ton the last few days.
Yeah.
It's like whenever I'm glued to my desk a little more, it starts feeling a bit stiff. But I'm definitely gonna try and get some mobility work in today.
Try starting your workout off with the cardio.
Okay,
Try that. It'll get some blood flow going. And then do the cardio, do the mobility, and then do your workout.
okay, sounds good.
Let's try that, and that should open things up. And then if you can, dude, even throughout the workday, if we can get a little bit of movement in, I
Yeah,
know it's tough, but
yeah,
like if we can just put that like 5 minute alarm just to get up and get moving,
yeah.
we'll feel a lot better consistently throughout
No,
the
that
day.
does help a lot. Yeah,
Even if it's like you do like one exercise of the mobility and you do that like every 2 hours, like you do
hmm
one another, little things like that will help open it up a lot.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Let's do that. We'll give another couple minutes for people to come on in. You said work's been busy for you?
Yeah, it's been super busy these last couple of days, and then right after work, I got to study, so it's been a grind.
Yeah, what are you guys working on at work? What's so busy?
It's just a certain project, like a certain client. Sometimes we have these clients, and then every once in a while, it's just as a grind for a couple of weeks.
Oh shit. Do you ever work at a big company? Yeah, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's one of these big corporations, like an accounting firm.
Okay.
It's called EY, and it's just like we just be grinding.
You work at the EY building too? Or like,
Yeah,
so you don't actually go there in person, do you?
I do some days, but I live really close by, so
That's a
I can
fucking
come a little late, and it's okay.
every single day, every single time I go downtown. My buddy actually lives I think he lives like right beside that building.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We could see it like from where we're at.
Yeah, that's my least favorite part of town. Yeah,
Yeah, hey, why is that?
it's because I work there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that building looks fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean they make it nice and fancy so they can keep you there for a while. They want you working longer hours. That's how they get you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think I used to go to no, not I used to. I did a summer softball league with a bunch of Laurier kids.
Okay, gotcha.
So a lot of them they do their co-ops with like one of the big four firms and like
Yeah.
right, and they're like, yeah, like the hours are absolutely fucked. They're working like 80, 90 hours a week, but like the way they keep you there is like they do socials on Fridays or on like
Yeah, 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 that's exactly what they do.
quarter end, and they just get you sloshed. And
Yeah.
then yeah,
Luckily, yeah. My work isn't that bad. It's just every once in a while there's a few weeks where it'll be tough.
yeah,
But then there's also weeks where I don't do shit. So that's
fair enough, kind of
okay. Yeah.
balance out, right?
Yeah, it's like a big balance.
Sick. Let me pull up. Were you here for our last meal prep presentation or no?
I've been here for the last like three presentations, I think.
Meal prep one, I think it says I did it at the end of April.
Okay, no, I wasn't here yet. I
Wasn't here.
started in May.
Got you. Yeah, I said April 30th is when I made this. So I did want to go over this one again because I had a bunch of people ask. Uh,
Hmm.
been a bunch of new people, and I figured it'd be a good refresher for everyone as well.
Sounds good.
Sick. So, meal prep mastery. One of the big things when it comes to meal prep that we typically hear is that it takes a lot of time. I'm not sure how to do it. How do I do it efficiently? I've heard some stories of some clients that have been meal prepping for 5 hours for the entire week. I'm like, Jesus Christ. That was my inspiration for this. Agiland and Davina, if you're watching this, you know exactly why this is happening. But yeah, that was my inspiration because like 5 hours is a lot of time for meal prep, and we need to be able to shorten this up to make it a lot of an easier process. Because if you're spending 5 hours just on one day to make a bunch of food, you're not going to be in a good position where that's going to be a repeatable thing. It's not going to be a consistent thing, and you're going to start to eat out and do other stuff and fall off track, right? So, this is sort of my way of making that process a lot simpler. And I'm by no means a Michelin star chef, but I would like to say I know my way around the kitchen in terms of putting things together um, and making food taste pretty fucking good. So, why meal prep? Meal prep, obviously, it saves time and energy midweek when we are typically, like we just talked about, Shreyas, is when we're busy, when work is absolutely slamming us or the kids are going crazy or whatever that might be. Doing this at the beginning of the week allows us to make better decisions in the middle of the week when our stress is typically a lot higher, right? Meal prepping also allows us to hit the calories and macros and targets that we set for ourselves as opposed to being at the mercy of whatever else is around us. It prevents a lot of last minute junk eating, because if it's Wednesday like it is today, if it's Thursday and we're getting near that end of the week, Thursday is typically a time when I notice most people will fall off, or will order takeout, or they'll get foods outside. And that's because we don't have anything in place for you to eat, right? If you already have your food prepped out, or you know what you're going to have and it's already made, you're a lot less likely to go out and eat something that is not going to be in line with our goals, right? Meal prep also allows us to build discipline by giving us structure to follow. It's essentially less thinking, which means we can do more, which means we can get more results. If we have to make more decisions by the end of the week, you've already made a bunch of decisions about work, life, family, kids, whatever that might be. You might as well make it a little more efficient. And I think the underlying point of all this is, at the end of the day, you probably meal prep whether you like it or not. You're going to eat the same 4 or 5 foods every single day for the last 5, 6 months, whether you've been with me or not. You're eating the same similar things. You might as well make those things actually fit your goals and give you still the taste and the satisfaction and the fuel that you need to perform throughout the week. So the 3-step meal prep framework is, number one, I like to pick a prep day. This is usually Sunday for most people. This is typically a day when we have the day off, but you might have to pick a different day when you have a little bit more time, when things are a little bit more calm, right? So I like to pick a prep day just to start. Sundays is great, but anytime we can dedicate about, I'd say, an hour to 2 hours. Number two is choose 2 to 3 proteins, choose 2 to 3 carbs, and choose 2 to 3 veggies. If you are starting off and this is your first time meal prepping, choose 1 protein, choose 1 carb, and choose 1 veggie. Keep it super, super simple, because the more sort of pieces we add to the puzzle, the harder it's going to be for us to, number one, stick to it. Number two, make it taste good. And number one, do it within a shorter amount of time, right? Then there's just more variables that we have to account for. And if you're not great in the kitchen and you're just starting off, a recipe for disaster is just trying to do way too many things at once, right? So choose 1 to 2. I would actually probably change the slideshow to 1 to 2, so it's a lot easier. And choose 1 to 2 carbs, and then the vegetables, we'll talk about some easy ways to be able to sneak that in. Number 3, you want to batch cook and store smartly, right? Batch cooking is going to be our best friend. I'll go over some of the ways we can do that, but storing smartly, you can label and portion it as well beforehand and put it in containers. I'm not usually a big fan of that. I usually just like to cook all my protein. For example, let's say I had a bunch of chicken. I'll take all my chicken and I'll just put it into a container like this. And the night before, I'll just kind of portion out into the container so I can take it the next day, right? You can also just have a bunch of containers like these where you put your chicken and your pasta and you have the individual days, kind of like you may have seen already with the traditional meal prep. I like to batch cook, and like, because that's how we've always done it in my house. Even with like Tamil food and Tamil curries, you have a big pot of padapu, a big pot of soda, and a big pot of different various curries, and you just kind of put that in as you sort of go throughout, right? So that's sort of what I grew up on, and that's kind of how I've integrated it into my sort of meal prep framework. Easiest proteins to meal prep. Protein is obviously number one thing that we should be focusing on, because most of us lack it. Most of us don't consistently get that in through our diet. So figure out what are the easiest things that we can prep. And if you're able to do at least one of these things, I would just prep your protein ahead of time, because your vegetables, your rice, your potatoes, all that stuff, if you really want to, you can do on the day of. When we talk about easiest proteins to prep, chicken thighs. The reason I prefer boneless, skinless chicken thighs to chicken breast is because, number one, it's way, 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 way easier to cook without having it be dry and nasty, right? The typical complaint that you get with chicken thighs is that, or sorry, with chicken breasts, is that it gets really, really dry. It doesn't taste very good. Chicken thighs, if you marinate it well and you can bake it, very, very easy to prep, and it lasts a really long time without it feeling dry or nasty. Salmon is also really good. You can season it, bake it. If you do it in foil, it'll be super, super easy. Canned tuna is also solid. You don't have to cook anything. Boiled eggs, 7-day fridge life, right? Super, super easy. You can boil like 6, 8 eggs and have that ready for you throughout the week. Ground meats, ground chicken, ground turkey, ground beef, even like ground, like the vegan meat, is also super, super easy because it keeps well in the fridge. You can stir fry a bunch of it at a time, and you just throw it in a container, and you can just literally have that with pasta, rice, bread, tortilla wraps. It's very, very versatile, which is why I like ground meats. And then tofu as well, cube, pan seared spices, and you can either air fry or bake or whatever that might be. Holds up really, really well throughout the week. Biggest thing I like to say is, if you can, use the oven, or you might have seen on my Instagram story, you want to use the grill for hands-free cooking. When you cook at the oven, you don't have to look over the foods consistently and watch over it and make sure that needs to get cooked. You can throw it in the oven and you can focus on other things like prepping your potatoes or prepping your rice or prepping your whatever else you have to prep. Or if you have other life stuff to do, I've even had clients that will put their chicken into bake or put their protein into bake, and they can go get a quick workout in during that time, come back within 45 minutes, and the chicken is done, right? So use the oven for hands-free cooking. I think in the traditional South Asian household, using the oven is usually not the most accessible option because we always tend to store random shit in there. Our parents or our grandparents or whoever they might be, that becomes like a second drawer. So if we can, ideally try to keep that clean if it's your house and keep that free so we can use it consistently. That would be a good spot. But even just taking that stuff out, the 30 seconds to a minute, it does make our life a lot easier. 6 easy marinades. So these are marinades that we can use on any sort of protein source, whether it's tofu, whether it's any sort of meat option. If it's soya chunks, I don't know about that, but you can try like the fake the vegan meat as well. But whatever it is, these are 6 like general frameworks or marinades that we can sort of use throughout, and these are marinades that I use consistently throughout. And I will eat the same protein source, I'll eat the same chicken thigh or the ground beef or whatever it might be, but I just switch up the protein source and it tastes like a completely different thing. So number 1 is tandoori with some Greek yogurt, some lemon, some garlic, and some tandoori seasoning and some spices. You can do a garlic soy sauce, so soy sauce with garlic and a little bit of sesame oil, a lemon herb with some olive oil, some thyme, some lemon, and some salt and pepper. You can go like the super white people mode and go Frank's hot sauce with some vinegar and paprika. The curry powder-ish vibe, you can go Greek yogurt with some sort of traditional garam masala or curry powder with a little bit of cumin, mixing a bunch of spices with that. You'll get a little bit more of a South Asian feel to it. You can go with like a really like solid recipe for me is like this dry rub. So salt, chili, turmeric, pepper, and some garlic powder. Super, super easy. Some jerk seasoning. This Walker's Wood jerk seasoning is one of my favorites. I'll throw this with some salt, some honey, and some garlic on any of my proteins, and it literally tastes so good. So if you can get this specific jerk seasoning, Walker's Wood has my heart. I know there's a bunch of other seasoning brands out there, but for some reason this one just tastes really, really good. And then my ultimate hack for meal prep are these chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. If you put a can of these with some salt, some black pepper, some garlic, some onion, even some honey and a little bit of lime, you don't even have to chop it up. If you just take the peels off the garlic, you cut the onions in a quarter and you put it in a food processor and a mini blender. That's exactly what I do. I just put all the stuff, I blend it for like 30 seconds. It becomes a smooth paste. I throw it on whatever protein. I've done this with tofu. I've done this with chicken. I've done this with beef. I've done this with fish. I've done this with pretty much every single protein you can think of. This is my favorite thing to do. It's literally actually exactly what I'm eating for lunch today. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that one. One of my favorite marinades. But you don't necessarily need to measure. The only thing you have to be careful with is the salt because you don't want it to be too salty. Other than that, you can go pretty crazy with all the rest of the stuff. Just make sure it's evenly balanced. When it comes to carbs are pretty easy to prep overall, right? So we can go white rice, use a rice cooker, batch cook it, and you have rice for the next 4 or 5 days. Boiled potatoes are also really, really good. You can throw in a bunch of potatoes. You can do 1 potato for each day or 2 potatoes for each day. Skin on, just throw a bunch in a big pot or in a pressure cooker, boil it, pressure cook it, and it's good to go. Very, very hands off. You can do sweet potatoes. You can do regular potatoes as well, but throw them in a bunch of foil, throw them in the oven. They're going to get cooked really, really easy, really hands off. Frozen rotis, cook on a pan in 2 minutes. That's typically something you can do the day of, or some whole wheat wraps or some regular tortilla wraps as well. You don't really need to prep this stuff. I usually just put this in some tin foil and throw it alongside my protein, and I just throw it on my lunch bag, and I'm good to go. I can just make a wrap whenever I'm here at work or whenever you're on the go and you can put stuff together. But carbs are pretty easy to prep. That's also why I don't mind doing them the day before or the day of if I have a little bit of time. When it comes to vegetables, the easiest way to prep vegetables is to get a frozen bag of frozen veggies or a frozen stir fry blend and saute it, throw it in the air fryer, throw it in the oven the day of or the night before. This is super easy because frozen vegetables are flash frozen, which means right when they're at their freshest point. That's when they're frozen. They're put in the stores. So it's actually fresher and has more of the nutrients than if you were to just get quote unquote fresh vegetables from a grocery store, because if those things are coming from Guatemala or Mexico or South America or whatever that might be, you can think about the amount of time that they have spent just being processed, put in the truck, flown across or driven across the country before it actually gets to you. The frozen ones will have slightly more nutrients. They're also going to be a lot more cost effective, and two, they don't go bad. So you can use them consistently for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks because they're sitting in the freezer. Frozen veggies are my absolute hack, and that's probably why a lot of you guys have this actually in your meal frameworks. Spinach and kale, you can also toss these into pretty much any single dish. Once you heat it up, they get really, really small. If you want to throw a bunch of it on top of your rice or your pasta or your potato dishes, and just before you heat it up, you throw it in the microwave or you heat it up before you eat it, it's just going to wilt. You're not even going to taste it. It'll get right into it. Bell peppers, onions, and carrots, also super, super easy. If you have a food processor, you can literally throw a bunch of these in, process it so they're like in chunks, and have that throughout the week. If you want to make it into stir fry, you can do that as well. But these are like the easiest vegetables to be able to incorporate that allow you to have those micronutrients and fiber with the fastest prep time. When it comes to cooking efficiency, so there's a little bit of an art to this, right? When we're going about our cooking, we don't want to just do everything at once, and we don't want to do everything one at a time. If I'm just making my protein and I'm just making this and I'm just making that and waiting for one thing to finish, it's going to take you 5 hours, right? So that's why we want to be able to start to use our time way more efficiently and be more wise with that. So I always like to say your protein is the most important thing. It typically takes the longest amount of time to cook. So if you can marinate this and have it get going in an air fryer and oven where it takes you 20-30 minutes of hands-free time, we can get this part going. And then while that's going, then you could start to work on, okay, now I'm gonna get my rice cooker going or my potatoes going. Or maybe these can be vice versa. These can be swapped. So you can start with whatever is gonna take the longest, have that get going, and then work on the other thing. The one thing I will say to you, and I hope this is the one thing that you stick into your brain, is make sure you clean up as you go. If you can make your protein and as you put it into air fryer, you wipe everything out and you do whatever you have to clean and you clean that, that is going to be a lot faster than just leaving dishes and trying to clean everything at the end. Your wait time and using that time smartly is going to be instrumental in you literally picking up the amount of time it takes to finish your meal prep. Chop veggies or clean up, do that consistently throughout so you don't have a big pile of stuff waiting for you throughout. And then at the end, assemble meals last. And like I said, this is something that you can do throughout the week to put those meals together. You can build those containers, or you can just have those containers ready, and then you can just put everything in and prep that stuff literally a night before, so you know exactly what you're eating. You're gonna be a little more accurate with it, and it gives you a little bit of flexibility to be able to change up the carbs or change up the proteins. And then, like I said before, clean as you go. Less mess means faster finish. Some bonus tips here. Use an oven, a pressure cooker, or an Instant Pot. I got an Instant Pot and a pressure cooker like 2-in-1. Sorry, an Instant Pot and an air fryer 2-in-1 3 years ago now for Christmas. I went and saw this crazy deal for one. It is a fucking game changer, excuse my language. For flavor, for hands-off cooking, anytime I've used an Instant Pot, you get so much more flavor out of something. And it's so easy because you literally throw everything into a pot, it does its thing, and you can literally fuck off for 3, 4, 5 hours, and it gives you so much more time to do other things. Whether that's chill out, whether that's make the next thing, whatever that might be. I've even done Instant Pot recipes where it's like an 8-hour slow cooker recipe, and I throw all the stuff in there. I put it before I go to bed. I wake up and I got delicious food waiting for me when I wake up, right? And I store it in a container and it's good to go. And then number 2 is always to start with the protein first. This will likely always take the most time, or like I said before, it's gonna be the most hands-off item, like your carb choice. So that would be the big thing that I would focus on. Start with your protein first. If anything, just protein prep for the week. And the last thing, like I said before, is frozen veggies are the ultimate cheat code. So are frozen fruits. And then do I have anything else here? Oh, I got 2 of the same. And then, like I said, at the beginning, stick to 2 to 3 recipes. And I would ideally start with 2. Even myself, as someone that can probably handle 3, I just do 2 because it's simple. It makes my life a lot easier. And I like to rotate every single week or maybe every other week whenever I get tired of it, right? So you don't have to have different foods every single day. If we are, it's very easy to fall off track because we're not prepping these things and we're gonna end up eating something else anyway. So stick to something that's super, super simple. Maybe even start off, stick to just one recipe per week, eat the same thing from Monday to Friday, and then switch it up for the next week. But one of the things that we can do to make things taste different or have some variety is use different sauces and seasonings. And if you want, if I haven't sent it to you already, guys, I can send over a bunch of my low calorie sauces that I typically like to make with the Greek yogurt base. But you can use that. You can use any of the low calorie sauces that you can find in the store, hot sauce, whatever that might be. But using the different seasonings and marinades I recommended before can make the exact same protein or the exact same food taste a lot different, and that can be just enough variety to keep us going throughout the week. And the last part to all this is aim for progress, not perfection. You're not going to be amazing at this. It is going to take time. It took me like 4 years to figure this out. You're not going to be great at it after week one. It will take a lot more time the first time. But just like riding a bike, just like you getting stronger in the gym, once you do get time, the stuff that you're doing before feels a lot easier. So this is going to get a lot easier as we go through with it to the point where you're going to have a system, you know exactly what you're going to do. And now at this point, I have like the same 3 protein sources I rotate between. I'll tell you guys, it's ground beef, so chicken thighs, and it's usually some sort of ground chicken or fish. And then the only 2 carb sources I eat now are either rice or potatoes. I don't really go too crazy with anything else, but aim for progress. This stuff will get easier, not perfection, and you're going to be in a good spot. And with that, I have nothing else to share. Any questions?
No, it was a great presentation.
Sick, dude. Did that help as a vegetarian on your end?
Yeah, no, there's some cool stuff in there that I think I'm already doing that's good with the cooking as you go. I mean, cleaning as you go part. That's huge for me. If I just leave everything till the end, then it just ruins my day if I have to clean after cooking all this food. So yeah, cleaning as you go, trying to do other things while one thing is just on doing something on its own is huge too.
Yeah, if you can learn to stack all these things, it goes a lot easier. And the reason I sort of have all this knowledge, if you want to call it that, is like more than fitness content. I watch more cooking videos than anything. I watch a lot of cooking videos. When it comes to YouTube, so I watch a lot of home chefs and stuff. So this is just stuff I've amassed watching people over the years, sort of figuring it out myself. And then the thing I would say is everyone like they want recipes and they have a recipe book that everyone has access to. But at the end of the day, like if you just know how to make like 4 or 5 things really, really well, that is going to carry you out through the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of having to figure out different recipes, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, we need to follow this recipe to a T. We need 1/4 teaspoon of this." Like, bro, like if you know how to make it, like it's gonna taste the same at the end of the day, right? So that's where I'd say the art of cooking comes into play. Where it's like, I'm sure Shreyas, when you're making like some of the curries and all the stuff that you're making, like at this point, you're not measuring every single thing out.
No,
Like,
I don't measure anything.
exactly. You just kind of put stuff in and you know based on the
Yeah.
amount that's in there. And because you've done it over time, now the point's like second nature.
Yeah.
Any other proteins or things that you use? Because I think it'd be some great insight for anyone that's vegetarian that I didn't necessarily mention.
I think it's a bit easier for me because my calorie thing is pretty high. So I don't really have to look for like low calorie protein sources, but I eat a lot of tofu, lots of paneer, Greek yogurt, and chickpeas. I feel like I can add paneer and chickpeas to anything and it'll still be good. Like any of the curries that I'm making, I just put both of those things in there and it's still good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with you having a little bit higher calories, like you can get away with including paneer or chickpeas, right? Whereas someone on a fat loss diet, it is a lot harder.
Yeah.
You're eating like 1,800 calories and you're trying to get that in. In that case, like tofu is gonna
Tofu and Greek yogurt probably.
tofu and Greek yogurt, cottage cheese,
Yeah.
edamame is a good one. What else do I typically give my guys there? My guys and girls. Seitan. I don't know if you've had that or soya chunks.
No, I haven't tried that. I should try that.
Soya chunks are actually pretty cracked on the macros.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you can figure out how to make it, it's a little bit tricky. Once you that process, it's super, super solid as well.
Oh, sick. I'll try that out.
Look into that. Sweet man, any other questions on your end?
I mean, just in general, I am going to Vancouver for 4 days in a week. So, like, how should I prepare for like a trip like that?
What day are you leaving?
I'm leaving on the 29th of July and I'm coming back on August 4th.
Cool. So it's a little decent amount of time. Okay, what's the situation gonna be like when it comes like, are you gonna be able to make your own food? Are you guys going out? Like, how's this sort of gonna work?
It's probably gonna be, I think, going out more, but I could probably get like Greek yogurt that can probably carry me a little bit. I mean, even now I'm going through like I think one of those Greek yogurt tubs a day.
For a bunch of my guys that are traveling a lot, what I'll say is stock up on the protein. So Greek
Mhm.
yogurt is a good one. If you can get your hand on some like, do you take protein powder right now or no?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so maybe if you can take that with you when you go, if you can get
Mhm.
a little bit of protein there,
Yeah,
super clutch. Protein bars, just
yeah.
prioritize the protein where you can, because especially as a vegetarian, when you're eating out, a lot of those protein options, like it's not a
No,
lot,
it's nothing.
right?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we're getting it in around that. Plan your meals a little bit better. If you want to send me any of the places that you guys are gonna go to, I'm happy to take a look over, get you some
Okay, yeah, that
of
would be
that.
awesome.
Send over some of that. In terms of workouts, what does that look like for you?
I honestly have no idea. I'm sure the apartment building has a gym, so I think I'll be able to get some workouts in.
Okay. Yeah, send me a look. Send me over that, and I can take a look if we need to modify anything.
Okay,
So
sounds good.
take a quick look at that. If we can ideally maybe get a couple, I'm looking at the week right now. So we got 4 for this week. If you can get Sunday and Monday, and then before you leave on the Tuesday, if you can get those 2 workouts in,
Yeah.
and you're gone, maybe you squeeze in another 2, and we should be in a good spot there as well.
Okay, sounds good.
So just be a little bit smarter with the workout getting done. And
Hmm.
if you have a busy week this week, it might be a little bit challenging to kind of squeeze all that in, but
Yeah,
we're
I'll
gonna,
just try my best.
yeah,
That's all I can do.
do that. And then movement wise, we should be good. I'm assuming you're probably gonna be on your feet quite often then.
Yeah, we're gonna be moving.
Yeah, I had a feeling so. Just make sure you're eating a bunch as well to accommodate.
Yeah, so I don't lose too much weight. Yeah.
That would be the big thing.
Yeah, I
But
do notice when I go on trips, I end up losing weight more than gaining. I end up losing it.
yeah, because you're just so active, right? When you're doing stuff,
Yeah.
just don't end up. Yeah, so take the protein snacks where you can. Um, Make sure we prioritize some sort of lifting. If not, I can get you some like home workouts that we can do
Okay.
in 30 minutes as well. And that way it's super quick. We can bang it out. If you're in an apartment or wherever, you can get that done.
I can definitely spam those decline. Those decline push-ups are fun. I
They're
love
good,
those.
eh?
Yeah, those are good. I love those ones.
When I went to Sri Lanka for a month in 2023, there was like no gym access. I think there's a couple times I got into the gym near the end, but all I did was Bulgarian split squats
Yeah,
and decline push-ups. I remember doing them on a beach. I like took out a chair
yeah, that's snake.
and I just opened them out, and I was like, those are the only 2 exercises I did because that's all I
Yeah.
had access to. And I think I did that like every other day while I could. And then if I got to a gym, I got to a gym. If not, like
You
those
must
two.
have got really good at those decline push-ups then.
Yo, I think I was banging out like even during COVID. That's all I was doing.
Damn. I'm
Yeah,
being on 30. Damn.
yeah. And then I used to have like a backpack on. I had like this Nike like camouflage backpack, and I just stuffed fucking books and
Oh
stuff in
my,
there.
that's
I just
crazy.
throw it on, and I do my Bulgarians, I do my decline push-ups, and like you get like decently strong at that as
Yeah,
well.
that's pretty far. Yeah.
Once you can bang that out, um, yeah, man, it does it, especially when you're traveling. A little goes a long way because it's
Yeah.
not about building more muscle. It's just about maintaining whatever we have and keeping
Yeah.
that routine going. And that way, when you come back, we don't feel weak. We don't feel like,
Hmm.
oh, we're coming off a long layoff, right? And like
Yeah.
15 minutes of that goes a long way.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, what else? Oh yeah, during my Sri Lanka trip, I remember when I did Bulgarian split squats, I just said I said 100 was a number. I was like, I'm gonna literally stay here till I did 100.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 100 on one leg, 100 on the other leg, and I
Oh,
did
each leg is crazy.
5 push-ups, and I was like, okay, I'm cooked. And like obviously I took breaks in between. I'm not gonna tell you I was a
Yeah.
machine when I powered through it, but like that's a great way to do it as well, where you set a target and you just go to failure, and then obviously you're not gonna hit 100 in one go.
Hmm.
Take like a 30-second break, you get as many as you can. You can do that as well too.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I think I'll be good. Yeah.
A lot of tools in the arsenal to play with. Don't worry.
Sounds good.
Any other questions, dude?
No, I think that's it for me. I'm all good.
Perfect, bro. We'll stay locked in. What do you got lined up? I know you got 3 workouts in for the rest of the week. Today and
Today and then three more and then
2 more, right? Or 3?
three.
3. Okay, so
I'm gonna
got
get
it.
him in though. I'm gonna get him in. This
Okay,
this
let's
is
do
gonna be a
that.
good few days. I'm excited for it.
Sick. Let me know how the knee feels. If it does act up on any of the exercises, let me know. We can go.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yep, sounds good.
How are the dynamic Copenhagen's?
Those are a lot better than the first time. They don't hurt anymore. So
Okay.
no pain in the knee.
Okay.
I do notice that when I'm doing as I get further and further away from
The bench.
like the bench, I start feeling a little more pressure in my knee.
Yeah.
But once I focus on like squeezing the inside or whatever that muscle is, if I squeeze it and focus on that doing the stabilization, it doesn't hurt as much on my knee.
Think about that, and then think about squeezing your glutes as well,
Mm,
because the glutes are one of the biggest. So the muscle on the inside here is called the adductor.
yeah,
That's the muscle we're training when we do the Copenhagen.
gotcha.
Number two is the glutes. Those two muscles are like the biggest stabilizers of the hip, and we're gonna feel tension in the knee or down the chain if our hip is not as stable as it can be. So
Gotcha.
focus on the hips, especially through the glutes and the adductors, and that should feel a lot better as you go forward as well.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Perfect, dude. Let's stay locked in. If you
Yes,
need
sir.
me, okay?
Yep. Thank you so much as always.
Take it easy. Bye.
Have a good one.